Assalamualaikum and good morning. Today we are going to see a new topic, okay, in C++, which is struct topic. So we are in week 11, right? Next week, we are going to have one more topic, and then in week 13, you will have your midterm test. Okay, so today we are going to see the struct topic into detail. So before I move or I go to the struct topic into detail, can you still remember what we have learned last week? Okay, last week we have learned array. Okay, why we need to use array in programming? Okay, because if you want to declare several variables that have the same data type, okay, if you use a normal declaration, okay, you don't use array, okay, your declaration will become longer. So you can simplify your declaration or your program if you use array. So if you have several variables, okay, but the variable have the same data type, so we can put the variable into array. For example, here I have integer marks, and then you have to put the size of your array. So the size of your array here is 10. So integer marks 10, meaning we have 10 marks here. Okay, so this is the array. But okay, if you have different data type, uh, you have several variable, okay, but different data type, they have different data type, you cannot use array. So in this case, you can use struct. Okay, let's see here. For example, you have the credit. Let's say your variable is credit, your cost credit. Let's say the data type here is integer, and then you have the CGPA, your CGPA, and then the data type is float. So if you see here, credit and CGPA, they have the different data type, integer and float. So you cannot use array. You can use struct. Okay, so struct manage to cater or handle the variable that have different data type. So we are going to see the struct detail after this. Okay, so before we move to the struct, okay, I like to bring student, okay, to the previous lecture that we have learned before this. Okay, okay, you have let's say you have a variable, any variable, and then you declare as integer, or you can declare as float or char or array. So what do you understand by this declaration? For example, okay, I declare here mark integer, or uh, I declare here mark to integer. Okay, so what do you understand by this declaration? Once you do the declaration for any variable, you have to bear in your mind. Okay, we will allocate location in our computer memory. Allocate location. Okay, in computer memory, in our computer memory. So when you do any declaration, okay, actually what we have to what we have done, actually we allocate location in computer memory. Okay, for example here integer mark. Okay, in your memory computer, you just imagine you have one box here, this box. Okay, this is the variable, okay, the box for variable mark. So if you declare integer mark, this is the box, okay, just one box here. You can input any data in this box. Okay, this box, okay, the location is in computer memory, we can see the location. Okay, second example here, if you declare integer mark and then 2, you put the mark in the array, because we have the size of the array here. So what happened to our computer memory? You can imagine like this. Okay, you have the mark variable here, then you have the 2 box here, because this is the array. Okay, so the size of your array is 2, so you have 2 box. Okay, so the first box here, the first element, you refer to the first box. Okay, the first element in the first box here, you refer by mark 1, mark 0, index 0, and then the second index 1. Okay, or subscript 0 or subscript 1. So you just imagine, okay, when you do any declaration, actually what will happen to our computer memory, we have allocate location for that variable mark. Okay, in this case mark, and then this is array mark here. Okay, so now we are going to see the struct. Okay, we have let's say you have the struct variable. Okay, same goes to the struct. If you use the declaration, okay, actually we want to allocate memory in our allocate location in our computer memory, but okay, for the struct is quite different. We have a little bit different, okay, if you compare struct with the variable that we have before this. Okay, because why I said we have a different the different here, okay, different between the struct here. If you see here, okay, to allocate location in memory, okay, if you use struct, okay, in order to allocate location in your computer memory, you have to do the definition and then you have to do the declaration. We have two type of task here that we have to do. Okay, you have to do the definition first, and then you do the declaration. Before this, if you want to allocate any location in our computer memory, we just do the declaration. We declare mark in array. Okay, so but for struct, we are going to see, okay, how to do the definition and how to do the declaration. You cannot just declare the struct, you have to do the definition first. Okay, now the first one, we see the definition first. Okay, now, okay, let's say you have several variable, okay, that have different data type. For example, here I have name. Okay, your name, you can declare your name as char. Okay, but I use string here. If I use string, I don't have to put how many the length of the name, the length of my name. Okay, how many character you want to put, you don't have to specify. Okay, because I use string. Okay, so if you use string, is you can just put name and then string semicolon. Okay, same goes to code here. Okay, I don't want to use the char, but I use string. So I just declare code string here, so you don't have to put the length or the size, how many length, how many long the code. Okay, so name string and then code also string, and then I have here credit integer. So if you see in this variable, we have name string, code string, and then credit integer. Okay, so we have two different data type here. Okay, we have string and integer. So we cannot put all these variable into array. We can put it into struct. So in order to put the struct into struct, okay, you have to declare. You will just declare the variable name string semicolon, code string semicolon, and then credit integer semicolon. Then you have to put uh, the struct name here. Okay, you put this is the keyword in C++, struct. Okay, struct struct cost info. Okay, cost info here, this is the struct name. Okay, I put here struct name. Okay, so struct cost info. Okay, cost info is the struct name, and then you have to open the brace and then you have to close the brace, and then after that you have to put the semicolon. Okay, between open and close brace here, we have the name just now, code, and then credit. So this is the struct member. You have the struct name, cost info. Okay, cost info, and then you have the struct member. We have several variable here, name, code, credit. So how to read? Okay, how to read this the definition? Okay, cost info. Okay, the data type is struct. Okay, cost info, the data type is struct. Okay, and then it has several struct member here, which is name, code, and credit. So this is the definition of the struct. You have to put the struct name. Okay, in this case I put cost info. You can put any name. Let's say you want to put maklumat kursus, for instance. Okay, you can use whatever variable you can, whatever the name you want to use, you can use here. Okay, I use the cost info, and then you have to put the struct member here. So this is the definition of cost info. Okay, cost info. But if you just put the definition here, okay, we can use this definition. So in order to allocate the location in your computer memory, okay, you have to do the declaration. Okay, now the second one, we have to do the declaration. How to do the declaration? Okay, so this is the example. Let's say I want to input the data in the cost one. Okay, cost one. Okay, I put here cost info, cost 1, semicolon, cost info, cost 2, semicolon. How to read this declaration? Okay, you just read cost info. The data type of cost info is cost 1. Okay, sorry, cost 1. The data type for cost 1 is cost info. Okay, so whatever data okay you have in cost info here at the top here, you will have in cost 1. So once you declare cost 1 semicolon cost info, we read cost 1. Okay, um, the data type is cost info. So whatever we have in cost info here, we'll have in cost 1. So if you imagine in your computer memory, your memory computer here, you have cost 1. Okay, what you have in cost 1, we have 3 box here: name, code, and credit. So you can input the data in this name, and then in this code, and then this credit. So in order to use the struct, first you have to do the definition, and then you have to do the declaration. Okay, now second example here, I put cost to cost info. So what does it mean? Okay, cost to the data type is cost info. So whatever you have in cost info here, okay, you will have in cost 2. Let's say I have the box here, I have the similar box here, cost 2, and then I will have name, code, and credit. Okay, so we just declare, we just do the definition only once here, but you can uh, you can use this definition, okay, for many times. Let's say for cost 1, cost 2, until cost 10. Let's say until you do until cost 10 here, meaning you will have 10 box. Okay, 10 box here. Okay, so this is the definition and declaration of array. So sometimes we don't want to use, okay, we don't want to write a long definition and declaration. You can just write like this, okay, to simplify your writing. Okay, you put string name, string code, and then integer credit. Okay, after this, okay, you just end up here with semicolon, not the semicolon, the brace here. You just put cost 1 comma cost 2, and then semicolon, meaning before you close this semicolon here, you just put cost 1 comma cost 2. So this declaration also, this declaration will have the same meaning with the declaration at the top here. Okay, so that is the declaration and definition. So in order to use the struct, okay, you have to do the definition first, then continue with the declaration. Okay, so we have two ways to do the declaration. Okay, you can combine your variable, okay, your variable here cost 1, cost 2, before you close the semicolon while you do the definition, or you can separate the definition and declaration like this. Okay, so this is the struct, the definition and declaration of struct. Okay, now we are going to see the third operation that we can do to struct. Okay, so now we are going to see the initialization of struct. Okay, before this, if you want to initialize the array, okay, we can do the initialization of array. So today we are going to see how to initialize the struct. So if you want to initialize the struct, let's say you want to input the data in this box. Okay, let's say this box. Okay, let's say this box, okay, name, code, and credit, you don't have any data. Okay, let's say the box is blank. Yeah, let's say the box is blank. So now you are going to input the data into the box, but you want to use the initialization. So how to initialize the struct? Okay, so you just put let's say you want to input the data into cost 1, yeah, cost 1. So you put cost 1 and then cost info. So cost 1, the data type for cost 1 is cost info. So when you declare cost 1, cost info, you will have 3 box. Okay, 3 box like we have just now. Okay, this is the example here. We have 3 box. Okay, so how are you going to input the data in the box? You just use the equal here, equal. Okay, you open the brace, close the brace, and then semicolon. Between open and close brace here, you can put whatever data you want to input. Let's say you want to input for the first box the name, right? The name, okay, yes, name, code and credit. So you want to input the name. Let's say the name is structured programming. So you just put structured programming. We declare the name just now is string. So we don't have to specify the length of your name. Okay. So structured programming, you just put between open and close double quote here. So structured programming, comma, and then MTS 3013. This is the code. Okay, you declare the code is a string also. Okay, just put MTS 3013 between open and close double quote here, comma, and then the credit is 3. So if you write this initialization, okay, you will have in this box, okay, you will have structured programming, okay, and then you will have MTS 3013 and then 3. So this is the way how to input the data in this struct. Okay, we have the struct the struct member here, name and then code and then credit. Okay, so that is the initialization. Okay, now, okay, let's say we have the data in that box already. You have the structured programming and then MTS 3013 and then the credit is 3. So now we want to assess what is the what is the name you have. I mean, what is the element you have in the first box name? The first box, you have name just now. Okay, so if you want to access a struct member, okay, you have to you can use the dot operator. Okay, before this, if you use array, we have to use the index or subscript. But if you use the struct, we use the dot operator. For example, here, let's say I want to access the content of the name. Okay, the first box is name, so I want to know what is the content of the name. So I just put cost1 dot name semicolon. So in this case, okay, let's say we have in the first box here in the name, okay, let's say you have the structured programming. Okay, structured programming, this structured programming here. So when I write, okay, cost1 dot name here, okay, so meaning here I want to access the content of the first box, which is name. Okay, let's say we have the cost2.code, meaning I want to access the content of the code, okay, for cost2. So that is the way how to access the struct member. You have to use the dot operator because we want to specify which box we want to access. If you want to access name, you have to do dot name code dot code. Okay, and then you have to put which box. Okay, we have many box. We have, let's say, cost 1, cost 2 until cost 10. So you have to put which cost 1 dot name, meaning we want to access the name from the cost 1. Okay, so that is the how to access a struct member. Okay, now we move to the operation on struct. Okay, let's say you want to input the data. Okay, you want to input the data. Just now we input through we use the initialization. Now we want to input the data into the struct. Okay, so let's say you want um, to change. Okay, let's say you want to change, okay, the name, the box, the first struct member. Okay, you have the name, okay, struct member for the cost 1. Okay, let's say now you want to change the structured programming to data struct. So you can use cost1 dot name equal to data struct semicolon, cost1 dot code equal to MTS 3023 semicolon. Okay, and then cost1 dot credit 3. So when you assign this info to the name and to the code and to the credit, so what is going to happen to the figure 1 here? Okay, so this struct member, the content of the struct member will change. Okay, name become data struct, and then code become MTS 3023, credit we have the same value here, 3. Okay, so you can use the assign operator to change the content of your struct member. This is your struct member, this is your struct name. Okay, your struct name here. Okay, and then this is your struct member. So you can change the content of your struct member by using the assign operator. Okay, So that is the assign operator. Okay, now we see the example here in the full program, how to use the struct in the full program. So you have to use, this is the full program, the simple program, include string.h. Okay, if you want to use string, okay, that's a name code, and then you want to declare as a string, you have to put it at the top here, include string dot h. Okay, because the string here we want to use string, so include string dot h. Okay, now, okay, so like we have just now, okay, I said, okay, in order to use the struct, first you have to do the struct definition. So let's say we use the same example. You use here struct cost info. I put the comment here, struct definition, and then open close braces, semicolon, end of struct definition. So we have the name string, code string, and then credit integer. All these are the struct member. I put at the put the comment here, struct member, struct member, struct member. Okay, what does it mean by struct member? Okay, what does it mean by comment here? The comment, just the comment. Okay, we want to tell the other people what does this sentence means, okay, or what does this declaration mean, okay, this definition mean. So you just put the comment. So the compiler will ignore the comment. Okay, so if you don't want to do the comment, it's okay. It's not a big issue, or it's not is error. It's not the error in the program. Okay, this is just the comment. Okay, now let's say, now where should we do our declaration in the program? Okay, so you have integer main here. This is an integer main. I use the integer because I use return 0 here. Okay, if you still remember what we have learned in function, right? So if you want to use other than what, you have to use return something here. So I use here integer main, open and close brace. Okay, so I put the return 0 here. So this is the declaration of your struct. Cost info cost 1. Okay, let's say when you type cost info cost 1, you read cost info, the data type is cost 1 is has the data type cost info. Whatever you have in cost info here will have in cost 1. Let's say now you want to change the content of your cost 1. For example, previous example, you have the structured programming, and then you have the MTS 3013, and then you have 3. So let's say now you want to change the content of your struct member from your cost 1. So you can do cost1.name equal to data struct, cost1.code equal to MTS 3023, cost1.credit equal to 3. So all this the assign operator here will change the content of the name, code, and credit. Yeah. Okay, so this is the example of how to use the definition and declaration in the struct, not in the struct, using the struct. Okay, so um, we move to another one. Okay, now if we want to input, we want to use the input statement, cin statement. So you just put cin, okay, cost1 dot name, meaning here you want to input the data into the member. Okay, the struct member name belong to cost1, the struct member code belong to cost1, and then the credit belong to cost1. You just put cost1 dot whatever struct member you want to input. Okay, so same goes to cout. If you want to output the data from the struct, you just use the cout, but we just use cout, and then we just change the symbol here, greater become smaller. Okay, cost1 dot name, cost1 dot code, cost1 dot credit. So this is the input and output using the cin and cout statement, right? Okay, I give you example how to write the cout statement. Okay, if you want to cout any content from your struct member. Let's say now you want to cout the content of your struct member name, right? Okay, so we use cout and then cost1 dot name. Okay, so whatever you have in the struct member name, okay, you will have the output for that name. Okay, and then cout cost1.code, and then cout cost1.credit. Okay, so now we are going to see how to use the cout and then the assign operator in the full program. Okay, now we still use the same example here. Okay, you have the include outstream.age, include string. Okay, include string here. Okay, now um, we have the struct cost info. We have the same struct definition here: string name, string code, and then integer credit. I copy whatever we have seen just now. Okay, now in the integer main, okay, I use the integer main here. This is the declaration and initialization. Okay, let's say now I want to input the data into the struct member name belong to cost 1, and then code, struct member code belong cost 1, struct member credit belong to cost 1. So you have to declare cost 1 cost info. Okay, we read cost 1, the data type is cost info. Whatever you have in the cost info struct, we have in cost 1. Okay, now if I write cost 1 dot name equal to structured programming, cost 1 dot code MTS 3013, cost 1 dot credit equal to 3. So you will have in the box here, okay, in the box that we have just now, we will have the content of the box is, okay, first we have the structured programming MTS 3013 and then 3. Okay, similar what we have just now. Okay, but now we want to output whatever we have in the struct member. Okay, so if you want to output, okay, the content of your cost 1 members, your struct member, you just write cout cost1.name, cost1.code, cost1.credit, and then return 0 here. So this is the initialization. We initialize, we use the assign operate or assign operator here to put the data or to insert the data into the struct member. Then this is the statement that we want to output whatever data that we have in the struct member. We have the struct member name, code, and credit. So after you run, you compile, save, and run this simple program, you will have this output: structured programming MTS 3013 and then 3 here. Okay. Okay, before we move to the exercise, okay, I have several exercise to show to the student. Okay, this is okay. I have error here. Should be string.h. Okay, here should be string.h. Okay, not just string.h. Okay, so before we go to the example here, the exercise, I have several question. Okay, I have several question here. Let us discuss the question 1. Okay, then you will have the question 2, 3, and 4. You can do the rest of the question later, right? So this is an example of question 1, right? This is an example of the question that you have that we have in final exam. Okay, okay. Question 1. The definition of struct is given below. So you have this the definition. Okay, so the definition of the struct is given. Okay, you have the definition already. Struct car. Okay, okay. So this is what is your struct name here? Car. Okay, car. The data type is struct, right? So this is the open and between open and closed braces here. You have the struct members. Number plate. Okay. And then the size is 9 because I use char here. Name, the size is 40 because I use char. Integer here and double price. So how many struct member you have in the car here? We have 4 struct members. Okay, we have number plate, name, year, and price. Okay, the first question here. Declare a struct variable name. Okay, you have to declare a struct variable because this is the car here, your your struct variable. Okay, but now declare a struct variable name as car1. Okay, okay, you have to declare a new struct variable name as car1 to store the information of one car. Okay, we want to store the information of one car, but now in this case we have the struct definition but we don't have the declaration. So now the question asks us to declare a declaration of the struct. Okay, what is the name of that struct? Car1. We want to store the information into car1. So how are we going to write the statement in order to answer this question? Okay, so you can put car1 here. Okay, meaning here the struct variable, okay, the new struct variable now is car1. So the car1, the data type is car. So whatever you have in car at the top here, you have number plate, name, year and price will have in the car1. So you can store the information in car1. So we read car1 and then the data type is car. Whatever you have in car will have in the car1. So that is the first question. The second question, declare a struct variable. Okay, wait, you have to declare a struct variable name as list, but now the struct variable name is list to store the information of 20 cars. Okay, what does this question mean? You have to declare a new struct variable, which is the name of the struct variable is list, but now we want to store how many information? 20, how many to set information for how many car? For 20 cars. Okay, so we declare here list car. Whatever you have in the car here, the struct member, number plate, name, year and price will have in the list. But for how many cars? Okay, we have 20 cars. If you just declare that this only one car, but now we have 20 car. Okay, so this is the second question. Okay, now the third question here, okay, what the question asks us, write the input statement to input the data to struct variable car1 and list. You have to write the input statement, okay, to input the data into the variable, into the struct variable into car1 and list. So for the car1, we just use the cin statement. Cin car1, okay, our struct name car1, number plate, car1 name, car1 year and car1 dot price. Don't forget to use the dot operator for each struct member. Dot number plate, dot name, dot year and dot price. Okay, for the list, okay, we have 20 cars, so you have to use array here. Okay, for integer x equal to 0, at less than 20, x plus plus. Cin list x. Okay, if x equal to 0, list 0 dot number plate, meaning you want to cin the struct number plate to the list for the first list 0, list 0 dot name, list 0 dot year, list 0 dot price. So it will repeat until how many times? Until x equal to 19, 19 less than 20. So start from 0 until 19. We will insert the struct member for the list 0 and then list 1, list 2 until list 19, because we have 20 cars here. Okay, so this is the difference between the first here, car1, and then this is the list. Car1 just only one car, but the list 20 cars. Okay, so that is the third question. Okay, the third question from the question 1. Okay, I have the question 2 here, and then I have the question 2, question 3, and then question 4. Okay, so this question I will leave this question to the student. You can try the question 2, 3 and 4 later. Okay, so I will upload all the question, okay, in tutorial, okay, in tutorial struct into my guru, right? Before I stop, okay, the conclusion for our topic today, okay, so you have to know the struct definition, how to do the struct definition, and then how to do the struct declaration. In order to use struct, you have to define and then you have to declare. Okay, after that you have to know how to assign a data into the struct member using assign operator, and then how to use the dot operator. This is the dot operator. Okay, if you want to input or insert any data to the struct member using the cin statement or cout statement, you have to use the dot operator. Okay, so I think that's all for today. Okay, so we see again next week, right? Okay, thank you.